fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse, I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Q's show here. And now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Izuku Midoriya and All Might. Now, All Might, he has given Midoriya one for all. Now, All Might, he has explained it to Midoriya. Somehow Midoriya knows everything already. He knows some of the first users. He knows about Nana Shimura. He knows about All For One. He knew about his quirk. And it seems like it's working like a magnet. One For All is trying to jump to him. One For All needs him for some reason. He is the user that All Might has to choose. And he did. All Might passed One For All to Midoriya. And he is currently thinking about everything. Midoriya, he did return back to school and go throughout the rest of his day. As Bakugo, he was curious to hear about the conversation him and All Might did have. Now, this is going to be for story's sake. I will be flipping a coin to determine how this series will go from now on. Now then, this is going to be heads and tails. Alright. Okay, that is heads. So, Izuku Midoriya, he does return home. And he does eat dinner with his mother, as he does head to his room and then go to bed. Now, Midoriya finds himself in a dream, as he does appear. Him confused as he does look around. Him trying to step forwards as he does find that he cannot move. His feet are stuck in place. And then there is whenever he does look down. He can, well, not see his hands. They're covered in something. He can move them, but he's just surprised. And then there is whenever the first user disappear. What's going on? Midoriya going to reach up to where his mouth is. Surprised to find that he can speak. Where am I? It's strange. You feel so much like me. What? What are you talking about? It's nice to meet you. My name is Yochiya Shimura? Or Yochi Shigaraki. Yes, that's correct. How do you know that? I don't know. Interesting. This is strange. One For All chose you. In fact, I believe it was my judgment. Now, this is whenever the other users would all come into view. As Midoriya, he does hear them all begin to talk. This makes no sense. So we chose this guy because he felt like you? It's not just that. Take a look in his memories. A lot of the things he's talked about and seen, along with certain things I'm looking at, he's forgotten many. But these are my memories. Wait, How is that possible? I don't know. Along with that, look at how Wonderful is reacting to his body. It's already growing accustomed to it, far more than it should have. So, what exactly does that mean? This kid's a prodigy? No, he can't be. Now, the users would all begin to argue. As we do have where Midoriya, he does begin to look at all of them. And he does see Nana Shimura, this strange looking woman. And he does just stare at her for a second. You're All Might's mentor. Hmm? Yes, that is correct. And you're the new user, Izuku Midoriya. Yes. You look so familiar. Hmm? That's not surprising. You've drawn my face in your notebooks. I've what? Yes. Whenever you wake up, look at notebook 1. It seems like you were just a little kid doodling at the time. But it's strange. You're a part of One for All before it even was graced to you. That makes no sense. How is that possible? I don't understand it myself. However, I do believe that whenever you wake up, things will seem a bit more clear. Now, with that being said, we do have where Izuku Midoriya, he does jump awake, as he's breathing heavily and he's very confused. Now, Midoriya, he cannot see, as it's very bright. For a split second, he thinks that he's died, and he's gone to heaven. However, there is whenever he does have his eyes begin to adjust, and he does find he's in a hospital bed. And he does look around. What the hell? Where am I? Now, Midori, he does turn his head, as he does then look at the IV that's in his arm. Now, Midoriya, he is very confused, as he's trying to piece everything together. All the information in his head, everything he does feel, that strange dream, that is crazy. Now, Midoriya, he does think about it for 1 second. He has to find Seiso. Seisho? Who's that? Wait a minute. Why am I in a hospital bed? Now this makes sense. Midoriya does say. Him going to bring his hand up, as he does just think. It's One for All's doing, right? This enhancement quirk. He took it on and then he went home. So something happened in the middle of the night, didn't it? Now, you do have where the door to Midoriya's hospital room does begin to open, as a nurse does walk in, and they do turn to see Midoriya. The nurse, completely surprised, as she just drop the tray, turn and run. Now, Midoriya, he looks confused for a second. Him going to bring his hand up and say hello, or hey, as he does notice something on his wrist. It looks like a black tag. Midoriya bringing up his hand and looking at that. What the hell is that? Midoriya running his hand over it. Before he does go to pull on it, and it does disappear. The hell? Okay, that... I'm not crazy, am I? My eyes weren't playing tricks on me? What was that? Now, this is whenever a doctor does come walking in. Midoriya going from staring at his wrist to looking up towards the doctor. Hello? My young man, you're awake. Yeah, what happened? I don't understand. Was I hurt or something? My head feels fuzzy, and it's strange. Now, the doctor, he does open up a chart. And he does then begin to lay some things out in front of Midoriya. Midoriya looking down at them as their brain scans. And the doctor, he does begin to tell Midoriya about it. Midoriya, he's been asleep for a very long time. And right now, things have been somewhat tricky to understand. What are you talking about? Now, the doctor would explain it. Midoriya, he, for some unknown reason, slipped into a coma. Now, Midoriya begins to panic hearing that, and he does try to stay calm, asking how long. Right now we don't think that would be a good idea to tell you. We need to ease you back into things. Because what we're going to tell you next is, well, that's going to be harder for you to swallow. Okay? Now, the doctor would point out to certain things. Right here on the first brain scan, Midoriya's brain activity is low, along with this part of his brain. However, right here in this area, it's high. And they don't understand that. Usually it's the other way around. And then there's these areas and these areas. Him pointing out that right now, this area right here, him showing the part of Midoriya's brain that does store memory, is active at a super high level. And he believes that that is the cause as to why Midoriya, he may have slipped into a coma. However, then there's also these areas right here. Him showing the progress. The more Midoriya's brain began to activate in the memory center of his brain, the less other areas were active. His brain was trying to compensate for the overactivity and overstimulation by shutting off certain parts to keep him alive. And then there's currently today. They did a scan on him earlier this morning, and they found that the activity in the memory center, it has gone down significantly. In fact, it's the lowest they've ever recorded. However, every other part of his brain is hyperactive. Now, Midoriya finds this hard to understand. However, the doctor does put it in a way Midoriya can. Midoriya's neural pathways are being very strained. And there's a chance that if Midoriya, they cannot get this problem solved, he could die. Now, Midoriya hearing those words, he does feel his heart just sink. Now, we do then have where Midoriya, he does hear someone's voice. Well, that sounds pretty bad. Midoriya turning his head to see Yoichi Shimura, or Yoichi Shigaraki. Him staring at that man. What the hell? What are you doing here? Doctor looking up at Midoriya. As they do turn their head in the direction Midoriya is facing. Young man, are you alright? Yeah, I'm fine, but... Who's that guy? Young man, there's nobody standing there. Listen, you can't tell many people about me, or One for All. Now, pretend that you are joking. Otherwise, things could get bad. Sorry, I thought I saw someone in the corner of my eye. It's still hard. It's pretty bright in here, you know? Okay, that could just be glimpses in your vision. Or white blood cells passing into your line of sight. There's a lot of things it could be. Along with that, there's also the fact that you've been bedridden for a few months. Now, Midoriya, he does catch that immediately. A few months? Yes. Young man, you've been in a coma for 7 months. 7 months. Yes. And, well, things have been a bit strenuous. Now, Midoriya, he does want to know what the doctor does mean, as Inko Midoriya is called. And instead of her coming by to pick him up, we do have Mitsuki, who does come by. Her surprised to see that this young boy is awake. As Midoriya, he does have longer hair. That it does go down past the back of his neck. And Midoriya, he does ask exactly what's been going on and where his mom is. Now, Mitsuki would explain it. His mother, Inko, she had to pick up a job. The hospital bills, they were a bit pricey. And right now, she's actually working overseas with his father. What? Both of them? Yeah, they're both in a bit of debt right now. But they'll be able to return soon. I'm sure of it. Oh, uh, okay. And what about my home? We still live there, right? Yeah, you do. However, the landlord's kind of stingy a bit. Sure, power, utilities, and other things aren't happening there, but he's still charging at least half. What? Why? He's an asshole. Okay, but what are you just thinking? Trying to piece it all together. He has to find All Might. Now, we do have where Midoriya, he's been able to get back home. And he does walk into his apartment to find it empty. And Midoriya, he does turn on the lights, as it does take a second for them to turn on before they do flicker before fully coming on. Now, Midoriya, he is wondering. UA is in what, 2 months, right? So he has to get ready. Crap. Okay. I need to head to UA, get things ready, get to position, kill All for One. Wait, what? That makes no sense. Who is All for One? Now, you do have Yoshi, who would reappear. Okay, so that's just the problem. Now, Midoriya, he would stand up, asking who he is. Okay. I'm going to try and explain this the best way I can now that you're awake. You probably don't remember all those conversations we've had. Sorry, what? Okay. Back at the hospital, that wasn't our first conversation. In fact, that was one of many. Now, listen to me very carefully. Somehow, I'm you, and you're me. What? One for All resonates you in a way that it did only with me. For some reason, your body has grown far more accustomed to One for All than it should be. One for All's somewhat backtracked. It feels like it's back at its starting point. However, it is not. One for All maintains the same amount of power it did with you once your body first got it, or the next user should have. However, One for All, it feels like it's been reborn anew. Does that make sense to you? No! I didn't think it would. Listen. Many of us are confused just as much as you are. This is the first time a user's ever had this happen to them. So, I don't believe it's right to keep anything secret from you, since you might already know, unconsciously at least. Okay. So, what now? That part's tricky. Listen, I'd say right now you need to train physically and get into better shape. Where you were whenever you first took on the quirk, you could probably handle about 20%, which is surprisingly a lot. However, you've backtracked back down to what? At the most, probably 5% or 2. So you're telling me I have to build muscle? Yes, actually you do. How did you? I don't know. Just leave me alone for right now, okay? Let me just understand everything and try and get it on my own. Alright, but you know all of our names, right? Hmm? No, just yours and Nana's. My head hurts. Not surprised. Now, he would disappear. As Midoriya, he does think about it. Him going to bend in front of him, since he's sitting on the couch, to reach for the remote. However, Black Whip shoots out of his wrist, directly reaches out, grabs the remote, and does throw it into Midoriya's hand. Midoriya frozen there for a second as he just does drop the remote on the ground. What the fuck? Now, this is whenever the 5th user, or I don't remember his name, does appear, saying sorry. He thought that would be a good way to introduce himself. What was that? That was my quirk. They didn't tell you yet? No. Nana would appear directly behind him, going to smack him on the head and inform him that they weren't going to reveal that. Come on, the kid has the right to know. Besides, aren't you guys going to introduce yourselves? No. All the users would directly appear in front of Midoriya, along with the fiery figure that would be All Might. Midoriya jumping backwards and over his couch. As you do actually have where All Might, he would knock on the door. Now, Midoriya stands up, runs over, and does go to answer it. Him actually pulling his door off the hinges by accident with One for All. As Midoriya, he does stare directly at All Might, as he does look at the door in his hand. Is this a bad time, young Midoriya? No, actually, yes. Yes, it is. Now, Midoriya, he does do one thing. He does tell All Might that he's been through a lot today, and for right now, to please let him just, try and figure it all out. And he'll see him tomorrow, or next week maybe. Now, All Might, he is confused. However, he does go to do one thing, asking young Midoriya for a pen. Midoriya looking around the apartment as he does walk into the kitchen. Now, he opens the drawer, finds a pen, and does grab a piece of paper, since All Might clearly wants to write something down. All Might giving Midoriya his phone number as he does then leave. And Midoriya, he does look around. Nobody saw him just do that, so he should be fine. Midoriya deciding to look around the apartment as he does take one of his, or let's just say his bedroom door off, and put it directly where the front door was. And he does hope that no one would notice. Now, Midoriya, he's gonna have to figure that all out later. However, he does just lay down on the couch and try to think about everything. Now, his life is entirely flipped. To him, yesterday was 7 months ago, and he was still in school. However, right now, it's so strange. He feels like he's going to snap, and he doesn't understand why. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.